Hello. I'm gonna wait a few minutes, see if anybody hops on. I know I told y'all 6, it's a little after, but that's okay. That's okay. Hey, Mercedes. If you are just hopping onto the replay, please comment #replay because I want to know that y'all watch this. Give me a shout out once you're up here so I know who's up here. You'll notice I am not at my normal spot. Normally I'm at my desk. But we're living with our wonderful roommate, Ashley, right now. So thanks, Ash, if you're watching this. Because we're moving. We have about a month left before we get into our house. And then I'll start filming from my office. Hey, Thea. All right. I don't know who else is hopping on. But I know I said around 6 o'clock. So hopefully people hop on. But I really want to talk to y'all about what to do once you get a new teammate, because we've had so many people join, like 5, I think, since yesterday, which is amazing. So we really need to talk about that, and like, what do you do after, and what, as a leader, like, should your expectations be? Because it's really scary to have it for a teammate, first of all, and especially your first one, and to like not really know what you need to do. So I really want to share that with you guys. So, wait a couple more seconds and then I'll start. I think I'm gonna start. I can't talk today. I'm gonna start with like expectations as a leader and how I'm here for you, and then we'll talk about like what you need to do for your teammates. I don't know how long this is gonna be, but I really hope you guys get a lot out of this because it's a really important topic, and that afterwards I'm going to actually open up to questions for a little bit, so you guys can ask me questions after. So write them down, and then send them, in the chat when I open that up. Okay, so here we go. So for your expectations as a leader, I say this with all the love in my heart because I love every single one of you. I want all of you to have so much. You can see my ring light. I want all of you to have the very best experience as a leader and as a Scentsy consultant, and I want you all to rise to the top. But to do that and to be a leader, you need to not ask your teammates to do things that you're not doing. So if you're not hitting 1,000 PRV, why would you ask your teammates to do that, right? You want to lead from the front. So for me, I tell all of you 2K because that's exactly what I shoot for every month. 500 as a leader, I'm sorry, just doesn't cut it. That's the bare minimum, and that's wanting to get paid off of your people, because yeah, when you have a teammate and you promote, you get paid from them. So a lot of leaders are like, oh, I'm just gonna do my bare minimum and hope that my team does the rest so I don't have to. And that's just one, that's not a Scentsy standard, and that's not our team standard, and that's really selfish, if I'm gonna be completely honest. So really shoot for like high PRV as a leader, because you want your teammates to see why that's so important and why you really want to do that. Okay. So leading from the front is super important. Don't ever ask them to do something you're not willing to do or are not already doing. So if you're telling them to book parties but you're not doing the same, well, I don't know why you're asking them to do parties, right? Because as a leader, it is not your job to tell them how to run their business. It is not your job to tell them how to be well, okay, let me back that up. It is not your job to tell them how to work. You can't make them work. What you can do is you can give them the tools, the hows, the whys, the whats, and hope that they take that and go forward with it. Because it's not my job to make sure that you guys are working, but it is my job to make sure you have the tools to do well. And if whatever you do with that is up to you, right? So keep that in mind. Like, if you give them everything and they're not using it, well, you did your job. You can't motivate somebody that just doesn't want to be motivated, okay? So I would say that really gets a lot of leaders, even myself sometimes, really in just like a funky mood, because you're like, oh, well, I tried really hard, I did this, I did that, and some people just aren't going to keep going with it, okay? They might be really great for a little while, and then they might fall off, or maybe they don't really do much, and then 6 months later they decide to. But everybody's story is different. It's not your job to make them do it, but it's your job to make sure that you provide them with what they need to be successful, okay? So really be careful with that. And it's really easy to get super distracted in your teammate and making sure they're doing what they need to do, that you're not focusing on your business. Your business should always come first, okay? So you guys will notice it's a little different this month because of the joint special, but the first of the month I don't do anything that involves like a team training or coaching calls, because my first week of the month I'm really focusing on my business, my parties, everything like that, and then I will focus on you guys. And then the last week of the month, same thing. I don't really focus on team stuff as much, except for of course PRV and all of those things, but I don't really do trainings or anything because I need to focus on my end of the month. And it should be the same for you guys, is you still need to focus on your business much more than you need to focus on your teammates' business, okay? So when you get a new teammate, what should you do? That's what I get all the time. Like, okay, well, they're here, now what? Well, I'll tell you what. The first thing that, hi, Bubba's. The first thing that you need to do is tell them to complete their consultant checklist that Scentsy sends them. Scentsy sends them an email, and it says, complete all these things. And it teaches them Workstation, and it points them to the trainings on Workstation, and it shows them how to log in. And you need to have them do that. You cannot walk them through Workstation. You cannot ask them, like, they need to do that, okay? Second, anybody that is on our team currently, this will change when we get much larger, but currently anybody that is my frontline or downline receives an email from me. And it says, you know, welcome, thanks for being a team member, here's my information, who I am, here's some tips, and then I have 2 presentations on there. One gives a lot of basics about Scentsy. It gives a lot of information on like PRV, Shooting Star, Certified, Sensational Start, how we get paid, business hours, who do I need to contact, where do I find help. It's got a lot of that information in this email. So I tell my teammates, complete the Scentsy email and complete the email I send you, and then we're going to have a phone call conversation. And what the phone call conversation entails is going over those emails and stuff, asking if they had questions, going over why PRV is important, and I explain parties in depth because a lot of people either think they need to have a party all the time or like a actual Facebook party, and they get very confused in like what a party link is versus like a $200 order. So I go over all of that, okay? And that's what we do in our phone call. And seriously, guys, the first thing, I should have said this earlier, but the first thing I ask my teammate before they even complete the emails is, what's your why? Why are you doing this? What do you want out of this? Do you want a hobby? Do you want money? Free trips? Because that is going to help you. Hey, Sharon. That's going to help you as a leader be able to mentor them correctly. So, for example, if somebody comes to me and says, I really want this to be a hobby, I say, okay. I teach them the bare minimums, and then we don't go further until they're ready to go farther. If it's somebody that's like, well, I really want to make money, I'm like, okay, cool. So we go head first into it. We get a launch party going. We get some recruits. We talk about, hey, girl, thank you. It's been very busy. I'm very tired, but it's okay. We're good over here. Hope your day's been great. But yeah, you need to just know their why, because you can mentor them so much better. Because this is going to sound terrible, but if you just want it to be a hobby, I'm not going to waste my energy on teaching you how to recruit somebody because you're not interested in that. And I completely respect that. I'm not going to make you learn how to recruit somebody or the right way to be a leader if that is not your intentions. If they are your intentions, I'm going to work a little harder to make sure you understand what's to be expected. Okay. The next thing you need to do, the most important thing, I kind of break it up. Okay. So I break up my trainings. We start with PRV and parties. Like, you need to learn the lay of the land, right? PRV is the base. I've been talking about PRV for weeks now. PRV is the base of this business. So the first thing we do after I have this phone call is we set up a launch party. Generally, I try to do it 1 to 2 days after they join. It kind of depends how fast they finish everything. And we do it for 4 or 5 days. and I help run it, because after that launch party is over, my new teamie then can use that party as a base for their future parties. And you can help them hit shooting star that way. So I know, hey, like if you have questions, or if this person has questions and you don't know the answers, I am here. I make them invite their people. I still make them post. I make them do a lot of the work, but I'm putting most of the posts in there and just helping them. So I would really, really, really encourage you that if you do have a new teammate, to help them with their launch party. Like, I think that's something really important to do. And that is just, sorry if you, like, this is distracting, seeing the glare in my glasses. It's dark in this room. But I just think that that's something really important, is to teach them how to have an online party, because people are so online right now that they need to know that. Okay? Let's see. Also talk to them about shooting star. So my first goal for every single person, hello, if you're watching, pop on, say hey. You're going to hear my dogs in the background, but it's alright. But they need to hit shooting star. That's my goal. My goal is shooting star for many reasons. One, it's a really prestigious award. If you hit shooting star, it's freaking amazing. Such a big deal, and your new, sorry guys, and your new teammate is going to feel really accomplished, and that's really, really important, is to make them feel like they're doing it correctly and for them to have a really great start. So I always push for shooting star, and then I push for them to get that kit, because that's a huge, huge deal. They pay for it, but they get the PRV back, and it's discounted, right? So that's super important. And then the next thing after that we go for is certified and sensational start. So certified is, after their shooting star, they're halfway to certified. So let's keep going, right? My goal is that their first paycheck is 25% and not 20%, okay? I also, and these are just little tips, you don't have to do these things. I also, when they're putting in their first order of, and closing their first order, I will make sure that we have like a phone call, or they send me pictures of what they want, and we can discuss like what they want to order, because I want them to buy things that they can use to sample and or gift to their customers, because customer service is really important. So then after their launch party, that's what we focus on, customer service, right? So, okay, we've talked PRV, they're learning parties, they're learning products. What next? Customer service. Why? Because now we need to focus on, they have all these customers that order. They've got hopefully $500 or more in orders. What do they do now? Customer service. They learn how to take care of these people so that they stick around, right? Customer service is huge to me. For those of you that know me, you know that. Customer service is really, 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 really important. So that's what we talk about. Scent circles, wax, how to make samples, and not only just that, but how to do it really, really cost effectively. If you're just starting, or your teammate is just starting, you don't need to have 5-6 different products worth of samples. You just need to have wax and scent circles and call it a day. Or wax and Scentsy Soak and scent circles and call it a day. You don't need to have everything under the sun. You don't want to overwhelm them. You don't want them to feel like, oh, they need to go spend all this money. Teach them how to use their rewards in a way that they can use that to give back to their customers, right? Half off scent circles, free Scentsy Soak, free counter cleans, free hand soaps, whatever it is. Make sure they know how to utilize those rewards, okay? That's important. We also talk about labels and how to, you know, really personalize your business, how to do that cost effectively. Sometime I'm going to have to, like, once we move and I have everything organized, I'll go live and talk to you guys about how I do things cost effectively, because I'm super cheap and I tend to find really cheap products that last me a really long time. So making sure that you're doing that and showing your teammate that is really important as well, okay? After we've talked customer service, I coach them in how to, you know, use social media. Social media is a huge outlet. And this is all kind of at the same time, like, okay, cool, well, your party's over. We just had a conversation about customer service. Well, now we get to focus on your social media, your brand, your image, like, what do you want out of this? And really just sharing with your people, like, why this is important. So, you know, within those 4 or 5 days, their kit should have come in. So go live about the kit, be sharing on your stories, you know, thanking your people that ordered, sending them goodies. For somebody that really wants this to be a real thing, That's important stuff, okay? Just think about how your sponsor did it with you, or how I did it. I might be your sponsor, I don't know. But how I did it with you, I do the same way, right? So then after that, that's a little conversation there, a lot of voice messaging, things like that, or a couple FaceTimes or phone calls, whatever works best for the two of us. Then we talk about recruiting and being a leader and what that means, because I don't want you guys to focus on that too prematurely and get overwhelmed. But I do think that from the get-go, you should really think about that. So I hope that all made sense. So I kind of just take it step by step. And I know it's really overwhelming. The way I kind of keep track of all that, and I'll share a picture of this in the comments after the video, but how I keep tabs on everything is I have a spreadsheet, and it has like new teamee name, date they joined, why did they join, right? That's important to me. How did they join? Meaning what kind of kit. What's their shooting star date? What's their sensational start date? Did they hit those? Are they certified? When did they hit certified? Did I give them my new teamee email? Sorry guys, my dog's being really needy. And that is how I keep tabs on everything myself. So I make sure that as a leader, I'm not falling back. Now, if this person says, oh, I really want to make money from this, and I'm like, okay, cool. Well, let's try to set up a time in the next 3 or 4 days. And they say, oh, well, I just don't really have time. I can't really do much about that, right? Because they need to want it more than you do, right? They need to want it more than you want it for them. It's not about the numbers, right? If you just have people joining you because you really want the numbers and you really want, to be a lead or star consultant, it's just not going to go well for you because you're way too focused on, something in a bit more of a selfish point of view rather than how can I help this person and feel good about it and feel good that I'm helping them. The numbers are going to come. So I think that's really important because you need to have a relationship with that person. And once you get to a team our size, you'll learn you can't have a relationship with every single teammate. Not in the same way. You're going to have teammates that don't do anything, are just hobbyists. I don't want to say just hobbyists, but they don't really want a lot from you, or they say they want a lot and then they ghost you. You're going to have a lot of people who maybe ignore you. And if that's the case, then you don't need to waste your energy on them. You need to use your energy on people that are wanting it, okay? That are trying to do something with this. And that might just be 3 out of your 10, but guess what? Those 3 are going to be your rock stars, and the other 7 are going to be great, but they're going to be great in a different way. They're going to be random orders, right? That you're like, oh, wow, they have PRV this month. That's totally fine. I have 39 frontline out of a team of 59. And so when I'm going through my list of frontline, there's a lot of people that either have 0 PRV or aren't active. That's totally fine. They're running their business how they want to. And I love them and I'm friends with them, but I can't use my business energy on them because I have 3 or 4 people that need my energy so that they can rise and be at the top. And that is just how business works. That's just how, it kind of has to be. And that doesn't come from hate or disdain or just not proud of where that person is. It just comes from the fact of like, when you want something really bad and you want to be in a place and you have people that want to be in places, like, you cannot tear yourself apart trying to please everybody. And you guys will notice different things. Like if you text me on a release day what time the release is, I'm probably either not going to text you back or tell you check news tab, because you can find that information yourself. Or if you text me and say, hey, I don't have time, to go look for this, blah, 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 blah. Well, you might, because who knows how long it's going to take me to reply to you, right? It's just however you define your time. For me, my time is really valuable to me because we are so busy. So any weeknight that I don't have anything going on or I don't have to go anywhere, I don't want to talk to anybody. I want to go sit in my room and, clean up a little bit and do what I got to do and go to bed, because most weeknights we are running around like crazy. We get home at 5, then we have to be somewhere by 5:30 or 6, then we have to figure out dinner, then we don't get home till 9, and I got to go to bed. So time is valuable, and I need you guys to realize that with your teammates too. Like, you give them what times you're available, and if they're not available for those times, try again. And if neither of you can make it work, do it over text message, right? Just answer it over text message, do voice text. But you need to figure out ways to do things in a way that is like really valuable to both of you and isn't taking each other's time for granted, okay? So when I have a new teamie phone call, the first one, I tell them it's probably going to be 30 to 45 minutes if you have a lot of questions. If you don't have a lot of questions, it's going to really be me talking kind of at you, you answering questions, and then us figuring out a game plan. And then when we have our phone call after their party, that's a shorter one because it's like, okay, well, let's figure out your rewards. Let's talk about your customer service and your social media. And then we're done. And then I don't really do any other phone calls unless they ask. And I've learned, you know, that you guys just don't really love coaching calls. I've offered them and y'all don't love them, so I don't keep offering them. But if you ever want one, I 100% will schedule one. I actually was going to do this whole conversation in a coaching call with like 5 of you guys, which is why I was like, yeah, we're just going to do a live video so I can point people in that direction because I can't schedule 5 phone calls. My time is valuable. 2, I don't know how much time I'm going to have every day. 3, I'm pregnant and tired and cranky and I sometimes just don't want to talk on the phone, and that's just real life. So I figured I would put this here, put this on YouTube so I can always tell people to come back to this. Start sending me your questions, guys. Whatever you have, I'm happy to answer them. But I tried to keep this quick and short and to the point because I'm so proud of you guys for recruiting. Like 4 of you have recruited already. And that's amazing. It's your first recruits and you're so excited. I'm so excited for you. I think the most important things to remember is build a relationship with them, learn their why, teach them PRV and parties from the start. That's the get-go. Help them have their launch party and just take it step by step. Really listen to like what their questions are, what their concerns are, explain the bare minimum. And then once you guys are in a good place with their launch party that they're really learning, then you can kind of go more in depth, right? So what's some questions? I know sometimes they take a while to come through on live. Y'all, these hospital cups are the best. Jeff's grandma had it at her house, and I told her that I love these things, and she was like, oh, I hate it. She's like, it gets so heavy. I was like, oh man, well, if you ever don't want it, I'll take it. And so the next time Jeff came over, she gave it to me. It was great. I was so excited. If I don't see any questions come through, I'll hop off, but I really want y'all to ask me questions because I may have thought I touched on something or forgot to touch on something and I didn't. But being a leader, guys, like, is the most amazing thing. You guys tend to surprise me and make me feel really encouraged. But being a leader is also really frustrating some days. You might think that you're pouring everything. That's awesome. You have a meeting on Thursday and that's great. I'm so proud of you. But it can be frustrating once you get quite a few people under you. You definitely will make people mad. You definitely will hurt their feelings without intentions. It just happens. You may be called mean, or they may have opinions about you, or you may think that you're pouring all your energy into them and you just feel like, you know, that they're not receiving it. Yeah, and they will, and that's totally fine. You can message me, of course, and I'll help you. But really just think back to like how you were trained, like things that are really important to you. Once we're in a better place, I hope to do like a workstation walkthrough, but it's really hard to do that because I can't show certain like information to y'all. So I have to learn how to like blur my screen and stuff. Yeah, they're so hard for people. But the presentations that I send in that email actually has like a good walkthrough video from another superstar consultant, or a superstar director. I don't personally know her, but it's a really good walkthrough of like how to use your workstation. So definitely make sure that they do those presentations. For my recruits, I will not do a call until they have finished those, because I used to do just a phone call right away and it was like 2 or 3 hours and it was really hard to be able to talk about stuff because they didn't really understand anything. So I've learned that as long as they finish the consultant checklist that Scentsy gives them and the presentations that I give them, that doesn't mean watch all the videos. That means reading through and watching like a couple. Then I will do a phone call with them. But until they're done with those, I will not do a phone call because it's wasting my time. Because you don't know what you need to know. I do not send recruits anything except for an email. Because I used to, and then I realized people were throwing it away. So I don't do that. I also am huge on saving money. Emails save me money. So that's why I don't send anything to them either. Because they don't care. They're going to get everything they need and will want in their packages, and their drawing kits. So I just send them the email to get them started and go from there. Yeah, I definitely think a launch party is super important. And it's not just like, oh, go make this party and do this. Like, you need to lead that party. And you need to coach her on, okay, this is how I do it. You can change it up how you want. But these have been successful for me. And get her that PRV. It needs to be her. Let me make this really clear. It needs to be her or his workstation party link, not yours. They need to go into workstation and make their party link. And if they watch the presentation that I give them, I call it a presentation, but it's more like a PowerPoint like flyer thing. It's just online and they just scroll through. Then they will know how to do that. Can you elaborate, LaDawn? You personally should just really be talking to them. What I send is like, hi, I'm your director. Welcome to the team. This is what I'm here for. This is what you should be doing. This is where you should start. And I can actually post a copy. I'll post pictures of the email that I send them so that you guys can see it, and a copy of the videos as well. I can post that here on social media, on the team page, so you guys can see what I do. But I don't think necessarily you need to do that until you have much more people under you, unless you want to. The reason I say that is because what you would send them would probably be really repetitive to what I would send them. I'm actually working on like revamping it just a little bit to add some more information and links and useful things. But yeah, I don't think you personally need to send them anything because it's going to be really repetitive. Same with the team page. Unless you guys are a superstar consultant or higher, you do not need a team page because your teammate is going to go on Macy's team page, Britta's team page, and my team page. They don't need to be on 4. They're going to have 4 places with, and don't overwhelm them with Facebook groups either, because they're going to get overwhelmed. They're never going to know where to look. The most important page for any of your guys' teammates is our page, Scented Snitches, because anything Britta posts that's important, I post it. Anything Macy posts, I post it. They definitely still can be on there since that's their team, but the most important page for them to be on is our page. The other page I would definitely say you could put them on is the How I'm Working page that Chloe created, but do not overwhelm them with pages. They do not need to be on 1 million. I am on 1 million pages for Scentsy as a director because I have to be, and it overwhelms me. And I'm a seasoned consultant who might be doing this full time by the fall, and I still get overwhelmed. Do not add them to a ton of groups. They do not need to be on the swap group unless they start looking for stuff. They do not need to be on sample groups and flyer groups. Like, they don't, because you can get very overwhelmed by that. If there's ever anything that I use or I make or I see that would be really beneficial, I will add them. And by all means, if they ask for anything, or you could say, hey, I have this group, they talk about this, you're welcome to use it. But flyer groups for me just aren't super important because I don't use flyers. I don't like them. My customers don't like them. Most people don't like them. So I'm not going to be a part of a flyer group or add my people to a flyer group because I think that you can either make your own or find better pictures. So definitely Scented Snitches, Wickless Scented Angels, and Wickless Ores should be the only places you add them. And then you can work from there, like as they get more seasoned. Yes, invite them to the Facebook team pages, not like invite them to the team pages right away. They have to be paid, and as a consultant, because myself, Macy, and Bridia all receive an email when you guys recruit. We all receive an email saying, hey, so-and-so recruited somebody, here's their name and information. So when you recruit somebody, we see it, and we know them, and we can see them on Workstation. So as soon as they join, you can add them to the team page. That's the first thing I do. I add them to the team page, and then you guys see me do it all the time. I post a picture of them and say, y'all, blah, 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 welcome to the team page. This is so-and-so. I just did it yesterday for Tanya, so I'll shout her out. I'd be like, this is Tanya, welcome to the page. I used to post on the Scented Angels and Wickless Aurors. I found it got really confusing for them. It stopped the focus from our team page. And I don't really know if you guys understand how it works for the teams. So I'm a director. So Bridia is my sponsor, and Bridia is also a director. So my sponsor and my director are the same person. For many of you, that's the same because you are my downline, right? My front line. When you, as my front line, recruit somebody, they become my downline. If I am not your sponsor, I am your director, and I am your upline, okay? Bridia is a backup director for y'all. If I can't find the answer, I will go to Bridia. You should always come to your sponsor first, then me. Macy is your superstar director, so she should be a complete last resort, and you generally will never have to contact her or get there. She's definitely happy to help, but she has her own team. Bridia has her team. So you are a part of Bridia's group, but not her team, because all 60 of us there's 58 of you. I'm 59, so all 58 of you are my team. You are Bridia's group, so you're in a whole other place. So you are part of this team and her group. So you're still in the same, little bundle, but it's completely different. You should always post them in the groups. You should always announce them on Scented Snitches anytime they join. It's very important, and really just understanding who they need to go to. If you sponsor them, they go to you. They go to Workstation to find answers, the team page. Then they come to me. And generally, before they even have to come to me, they'll have found the answer. But just understanding to not overwhelm them is completely important, because it does happen. And if you overwhelm somebody to the point where they just can't handle the groups, it will cause them to kind of close down. So just add them to the 3 groups. And I think if you just shout them out on Scented Snitches only, that's going to be really important to also teach them, like, this is the group I should be in. This is the group that I go to. This is the group that is my team. And then the others are a really great backup. And just explaining that to them, like, hey, you're on these 2 teams. These are my 2 teams. And, you can go on there and you can look for ideas and interaction and this and that. But you really want to focus on Scented Snitches. No, definitely don't post it on either Facebook page. They need to make their own post saying, hello, I did what I did. And it's going to say that on their emails that you send. Only post in the group page. Sometimes I will post on my story, so you can definitely post on your story if you can tag them. So I'll do that. But definitely, you don't need to post anything. Nothing from our Facebook group should ever go on from our Scented Snitches, Wickless Angels, all that should ever go on your personal page. Nothing. There's a lot of information on there that other people cannot see unless they're a consultant. You are more than welcome to share your shout outs, your rewards. But if you do that, you have to put it as like a post from you. You can't screenshot the image and post it on your page. Okay? Any other questions? Great questions, guys. I hope I'm not being confusing. Pregnancy brain is real. And I can, like, squirrel. If they're on your VIP page and they're a consultant, they should be not on that VIP page. No consultant should be on your VIP page ever. Ever. Never, ever. A lot of you guys have requested my VIP page, and I've declined all of you. I'm sorry, but no consultants on my VIP page. You can have them if you want, but I don't. It's a hard pass for me. Any other questions? These are great questions. LaDawn, you're not old. I also need to eat dinner. I think I'm gonna order pizza, but I don't know. Okay, I don't see any more questions. Hey, Shannon, how are you? Hey, that's not old. 50 is the new 20. And happy birthday. Hopefully I remember. I'm the worst with birthdays, dates, holidays. Like, they just aren't my thing. I am not good at them. Okay. Okay, I'm glad this was helpful. I really hope I wasn't confusing. I'm going to keep this on the team page, so you can always reference it. It'll also go on the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to reference it there. I will take a screenshot of that spreadsheet I talked about, as well as the email to post, so you guys can see those. But really, the key about being a good leader is just loving your team, but having boundaries. And y'all know I have boundaries with you. If you ask me a silly question, I'm going to be like, go find the answer, right? Like, it's just one of those things. Don't freak out about stuff. Don't stress out. I'm here for you. So if you start feeling, a little overwhelmed, just because there's a join special, no, do not put any consultant on your VIP page. Nope, I don't. You can. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it, but I don't. I do not. But I forgot where I'm going. Mom brain. Hold on, it'll come back. Maybe. I don't know. I'll think about it. It'll come to me later. Sidetracked. Sorry, guys. Yeah, I lost it. Do we have any other questions? Oh, I know. I got it back. You can always ask me. Like, I will always help you. But again, if it's like a funny question, I'm like, check the workstation, check the team page. But you guys, just because there's a join special, doesn't mean you need to recruit 10 million people. If you're going to overwhelm yourself because you're trying to recruit 10 people this month, don't do that. Recruit the ones that you know are going to be good, or you think are going to be good, and focus on being a leader. Focus on your promotion, focus on getting them where they need to be, and then focus on doing more. Just because there's a join special doesn't mean you need to jeopardize your business, okay? Keep that in mind. I'm so glad that you guys are recruiting, that you guys hopped on. I hope this was helpful. Rewatch it if you have to. Make sure comment #replay if you're rewatching this. And I'm sure I will hear from you guys, because recruiting is no joke. Being a leader is no joke. It is hard. It is stressful. It is frustrating. And I'm always here. If you're frustrated, I can listen all day long, because I guarantee you, I've probably been there. So, I love y'all. Have a good night, and I'll talk to you later.